What if this was your first time here in human form? I mean truly. Many people don't know they have past lives. But what if you didn't have any past life apart from one? This has been the case for me. Yes, I'm a starseed. Just to have an imprint of the family I was born into, I sometimes wondered why I chose this, to come into this life. I knew, all right, I did find out, and I know why I'm here, but I would have never have thought the immense challenges I went through to end up at this stage where I am right now. Yes, I've had transcendental experiences, and astral travels too, and even dreams that were just totally, for me, out of scope initially. But the main thing was that I needed to be grounded here on Earth and have the full human experience. My main purpose was to come here to actually know firsthand what human beings go through. I was an old veteran, but here I still feel like I'm a baby. Just imagine that this was your first time here in human form, but you didn't have any past lives, or you don't know of any past lives. It could be daunting if you've been through challenges through your childhood, or even birth, while you were in your mother's womb, like it was for me. Whilst you're still a baby, you're still pure. I know I was still pure. But looking back, I can't remember a thing up until the age of 4 in the physical form. But whilst I was in my mother's womb, I knew exactly what was going on, and I know exactly how she felt. I'm here now. I'm here. The last 10, 11 months, I was totally forced to stop and go inwards. I've normally gone through long periods of solitude in my life. In silence and stillness. But this time it was different. That was kind of just the beginning. I could tell you and talk about the galaxies and the aliens and extraterrestrials. I did get lost in those different stories. A lot of it is true. But my origin is unknown of. There's quite a few like me, and we're called blue rays. There is this, it's not even secrecy, but there's a lot that is hidden about us, and it's all about the frequency we carry. It's a frequency that dances between the dark and the light. And between this, so I walk through the fires, and have been seeing for quite a long time now this spiritual matrix, but I've upgraded the term to the spiritual industrial complex. If you haven't seen what's going on around us in the spiritual communities, it does exist, and how the original ancient teachings and even artifacts and rituals and everything has been twisted to serve those that benefit from it, the very few. you just have to look around. And if you haven't felt the shift over the last 2 or 3 days or a week, there's more to come. We need to see the contrast within ourselves, within humanity, within spiritual communities, as individuals, as in groups, and even in technology, and in business, and in politics, and everywhere else. The more we ground ourselves within ourselves, the better it will be. A few years back, I'd taken down my old website, and I started building a new one just last September. And I called it the Silent Revolution. Now, being a starseed, a Blu-ray, which is one of the most challenging purposes that a starseed could come and choose in this life. Okay, but my mission, my purpose was to come here, talk literal, go through so many challenges, to know what suffering was, what pain was, what deception was, what love was being together without separation was. And I felt both sides of these contrasts and more. And it kind of left me quite confused many a times. Yeah, I walked away from my family. I walked away from the closest friends I had. I walked away from spiritual communities, thinking that there was something wrong with me. And with time, I was seeing things that I wasn't believing, because I thought there was something wrong with me. But what I experienced through individuals and spiritual communities and even people that I trusted, I saw the trappings, and I've been through it myself, passing it through myself. I was experiencing it with others. You know, the ego, to be greater, to be bigger, to be better, to lead. I've never been interested in leading. And so this whole process for the last 11 months, it's been the process of individuation of my soul. At first was forced to move away from everything. Things were taken away from me, people were taken away from me, places I had to move again. The other thing I would like to share is 3.5, 4 years ago, 2023, and I just had this strong urge to disconnect from social media. I never had an Instagram until last year. I had a Facebook account, and I literally cleaned it up a few years back, and I had 1,000, 1,500 friends, let's say followers, friends. And I cleaned it up, and I've got about 400. I don't use it. I've got people there from childhood, infant, junior school, high school, people that we shared a moment in life, which I would say was heartfelt and precious, and still is precious to me. And others who I met across along my life. We're standing on this cusp, and we just stepped over one of the great big exchanges I think majority of the world is feeling. There's a lot of angst, uncertainty, and I'd like to share something with you. I just want to finish off with, I can see through many things now, seeing how the spiritual path has been so thwarted. I ask everyone, regardless of where you are in your journey, to be very discerning. I've been through this high vibe spiritual communities, jumping from one thing to another, learning teachings and making them modern. There's nothing modern about healing. There's nothing modern about energy. Modern is just another word for neo. And I think it's evident for many people as we see spiritual influences. They've made themselves very big and famous. And the truth coming out of these teachers, guides, mentors. I've never appealed to a lot of them. And I felt that there was something wrong with me. Until I came back to myself. And I had to trust what was going on. Even though I felt separated from everybody else following these people and doing things that I could see right through. And I really and truly felt there was something wrong with me. Because I didn't fit into these groups or communities or even in places. I had to separate myself from these places. And so when you come back to yourself more and more, you'll be able to see the truth even more. At some point, the seeking has to stop. The medicines have to stop. The retreats have to stop. The ecstatic dances have to stop. All these high vibe, intergalactic, blah 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 has to stop. Doesn't matter if you're a starseed or a human, or you channel and you guide, you have to come back to yourself. Because otherwise, sooner or later, if it's not done from your heart and from the essence of who you are, people will fall. And some continue as if nothing's happened. So evident, right? From the highest to the lowest. If you give yourself space each day and just come back to yourself, even if it's for a few minutes of stillness and silence, just witness what comes up, because there is something there that is communicating to you. It could be in a myriad of forms, but the first thing that you're going to notice is that there is something that is more alive in you. It might agitate you at first. That's why it's so important to maintain our energy, but also to feel what you're feeling and admit to it. If you've stayed with me until the end, then thank you. By the way, my name is Raj Ananda.